We are Extract team name here, and we took on challenge 1, which was the cost data scraping and search tool challenge set by Costain. There are 6 of us in the group, 3 of us from the Oakland group, and we have representation from Orbital Media, Field Core and Costain respectively. The challenge. Estimating costs in the construction industry is a vital and often time-consuming endeavour. An estimator, given a bill of quantities or BOQ, may need to refer to a paper-based price list to quantify the costs, or they search through an online PDF copy. The questions are, can we extract the unstructured data from the PDF and present it back as a structured data model? In addition to that, can we then create a visualized search tool enabling a quicker and more efficient process for an estimator? We made a decision early on to start with part 4, the prices for measured works. This part, aside from being the largest section of data within the book, will provide the most benefit to estimators within a search tool. We can instantly detect the hierarchies within the table, which start from the top level work section and track through each subsequent subsection to the final line items and prices. We also noted the consistency of the table structure throughout part 4, which was a bonus. At the start of the part 4, there is a translation table between the standard method for measurement 7th edition or SMM7 and the new rules for measurement or NRM. The document sets out a table to aid the readers with the transition, and we thought this consideration should be taken into the product. We scoped out the requirements, we prioritized those requirements, and essentially what we're looking to do is deliver on the must-haves and the should-haves in the 2 days provided. Over to Dan, who's going to explain the high-level extraction process.
Regarding the acquisition of the data, we used Python and Microsoft Azure's cognitive search to extract the PDFs in separate methodologies. The information within the document in question has poor formatting that differs across sections of the book as well as within the sections themselves. With the number of records, it's very difficult to create a single method that can finish the extraction process with the full confidence of there being no mistakes, which is obviously undesirable, especially given the financial nature of the data. Therefore, to ensure that our system is robust enough to deal with this, we use 2 extraction methods of validation. This could potentially be taken a step further and modified to be able to do all of this for the newer versions of the document fully automatically for no further development costs.
Hi there, I'm Jake Watson, and I help build the Power BI dashboard for our team. Just to give a brief demonstration through this. As you can see, we've managed to output all the extracted PDF data into 2 million's worth of price lists, and here you can select what both standards of construction materials, which is the MRM2 and the SM7, and you can search through, and you can search down by lots of different categories onto little things, and you can start building this up like so. And then you can also add regional adjustment pricing, so you can change it to wherever your project is for the construction industry. Then we have the category breakdown, so you have a nice visual search of what each bit of it, so you can search through all the various categories and drill down. And then we have getting onto the trusting data. Here you can actually see the raw PDF output, which we got output from the Azure cognitive search as sort of like a raw text. And then you can compare it to what we've done with the processed output from the Python code. So you can compare that up. So you can individually calculate it. And then finally, we did some data tests and output them, so you can see some like data quality tests, see how good your data is that so we've outputted. So if we ever run this again in future, you can see that. Thank you. Finally, for the questions part. So the first question is, how do we ensure the data is current? It's quite simple because the price book only gets released once a year, so you only have to update it once a year. So when it's out, you just start updating it. There is a side question of how best you go updating it, where you check because every time the book will change, so there will be some things where you need to check, rerun the code and run it against the data quality checks that we mentioned earlier to check that the actual book, any changes to the book haven't been affected in the quality of the data output. The second question is, after this challenge, do you believe there is a case for Spons to make a raw clean data set as part of their challenge package? How could they improve your solution? They would improve it massively. It probably took 60-70% of the time just to extract the PDF data via Python with some very highly trained data professionals. And we only did it on one section, so there's only like 300-400 pages of an 800-page document, and that was because it's the easiest section. There was other sections where the table headers changed quite a lot, so it would be pretty frustrating. So it would just massively speed up, so you could go straight to the insights without having to go through the drudgery of trying to extract it and make sure it's good quality data. Finally, there was what alternative tools could you use to develop a similar solution? You could do it especially on the output end, where I think the client really wanted was a price estimator tool, so they could add bits and add it in, and then so that would lend itself more to a website or a Power App, where they could enter in the various construction metrics such as screws and roofs and so forth, and then build up a project which then would get sent back to a database. This would be less error prone than, say, doing it manually through the pagebook, where you would look for the right page and then write it down and then put it possibly in a database.